Hello, everyone. Good evening. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Okay, we have 4 participants now available for this program. Hope everyone is with their notepad and pen as we count down to 8 p.m. and await the joining of others. Now, so we go sleep today. Everybody go carry their bed.
Nurse Justina, take. Is she going? She has gone already. Okay, no problem. Thank you. Nurse Mary. Yeah, are you on night duty? How many nights are you even working? No. Dr. Chidi. I think he will work next week. No, maybe next 2 weeks, I think. I don't know, but I don't know. I'll confirm from him. Anything? Okay. No, Deborah. Alpha, you will soon go, right? Okay. Please, before you go, let me know. Park from there. We sit down here. I don't enter my room. I bet the patient no go come again this night. Come here once. My love. How are you? You are nice. Is that night duty? You're welcome, ma. Nurse Wells. Wells. How far now? How far? Did you succeed doing that stuff? A patient? Just go. Oh, my sister, I'm coming. Thank you. Tell her I'm coming.
I'm at a meeting.
Yes.
It's a meeting, Zoom meeting.
With whom?
Yep, a Zoom meeting, yep.
Oh, with whom?
Huh?
What meeting?
Okay, it's a Zoom meeting with some people in Nigeria now.
You don't know?
Some people in Nigeria.
Oh.
Yep.
Do you wanna talk here?
I'll go to the other side, don't worry.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hello, good evening, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Hello. Hello.
Hello, yeah, we can hear
Good
you.
evening, Tatum. Good evening, Amara, Jerry, Dakwa, Naomi, everyone. Good evening. So, without wasting much time, going straight to business. So, I would love Naomi to give us a short opening prayer before we start.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Can we can we pray?
Yes, we can.
Okay. In Jesus'
Amen.
Father God in heaven, we thank you this evening for bringing us together, having this wonderful time together. Father, we pray that Lord, as you start with us, the presence will lead and direct us. Come and have your way. Help us to gain the best from this meeting in Jesus' name. In Jesus'
Amen.
name we have prayed. Amen.
Amen. Okay. So I officially welcome you all to the webinar on how to get admission into grad schools with funding and scholarship in the US. But before we start, I would love to please every one of us to mute our mics. Dato Manuel, please, please mute your mic so you can be able to hear the speaker when he comes up. So if you have a question, you just send it to chat box. I'll be able to read it from there, or you could as well send it to me privately through the chat section. So when it's time for questions, I may read out your question or give you an opportunity to ask, depending on the time. Well, this meeting is scheduled to last for 1 hour 30 minutes to 2 hours. So we'll try as much as we can that we don't exceed the time, because time is of value to us. So I'll run down the schedule, our agenda. So number 1 is opening prayer. Number 2 is introduction of participants. Number 3, introduction of speaker. Then seminar, which is the main reason why we are here. Then we have the question and answer section. We have the closing prayer and conclusion. So Sister Naomi has taken the opening prayer for us. So we'll be moving now to introduction of participants. So if I call your name, you can just unmute your mic and introduce yourself. What we just need is your name and the state that you are tuning in from, and possibly what course did they do for those who are DLCF Uniport alumni. Then if you're not from DLCF Uniport, you can as well tell us what school you studied or you graduated from and what course you studied. So I'll be calling on Philip Strings. Philip String. So please go ahead and introduce yourself. Thank you. Hello, Philip.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but I think your speaker is not clear. Hello. Okay. Why you try to your speaker? We can't really hear. Your speaker is not clear. It's echoing. Hello. Okay. Go to the next person, please. Amara, please introduce yourself so we don't waste much time. Amara. Amara 1BK. Are you available? Okay. I don't think she's available. Okay, Datum Emmanuel. Datum Manuel. What about Jerry?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, no, my name is Jeremiah Isu. I studied mathematics, and currently I'm in the US, in Oklahoma, precisely. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So we'll call on Naomi. Naomi, please introduce yourself.
I'm Naomi John Edu. I'm a psychologist, and I base in Port Harcourt.
So we'll call on Charity. Charity.
Good evening.
Okay, good evening. Hello. Yeah. Okay, I think we lost her. We'll call on Emmanuel.
Good evening, everybody.
Okay, we'll call on Bra Prince. I don't know.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Prince Nkwocha, graduated from the Department of Biochemistry, linking up from Port Harcourt, River State. Thank you.
you. We'll call on Brother Emmanuel Oluwa Lambe. Brother
Good
Emmanuel.
evening. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Oluwa Lambe Emmanuel. Linking up from Port Harcourt, not a Uniport alumni though. Studied electrical and electronics engineering.
You're welcome. Okay, I'll be calling on Brother Jaffa. Tamunotonye. Hello.
Hold on. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Samuel Toyin. Actually in 500 level, River State University. I'm rounding up my second semester too. Mechanical engineering.
We'll call on Eno. Eno.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Mm.
My name is Eno Bong Ezekiel. I graduated from Uniport's Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering. Glad to be here.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, we'll call on Brother Ezekiel. Hello. We can't hear you. Okay, next person we'll call on Eva or Eva.
Hello, good evening. I studied accounting.
Okay. So is there another person that has not introduced? Okay, is there another person that has not introduced this for herself?
Yes, I've done. Yeah.
Hello. Okay, is there another person that has not introduced this to herself? I'm trying to see if there are new persons in the house. Okay, without wasting much time, I think the 10 minutes for an introduction has elapsed. So I'll be calling on our chief host, Brother Ben Arogo, to introduce himself before I introduce co-moderator with me and go ahead to introduce the main speaker. So, Brother Ben, Chairman, over to you.
Good evening. My name is Arul Benjamin. I'm a graduate of Electrical Electronics Engineering Uniport. I'm linking up from Port Harcourt. Thank you all for joining the meeting this evening.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, so my name is Comfort Chukwere. I graduated from the Department of Biochemistry, University of Port Harcourt, and I'll be moderating this meeting today. And the co-host, the co-moderator is Unzube Nadi. So I'll be giving her an opportunity to introduce herself as well. Unzube, Sister Unzube.
She can't hear you. She's here to join with her audio.
Oh, she's here to join.
With her audio. She has joined, but she has not joined with audio.
Okay, so we all know the reason why we are here. We are here to talk about the graduate school funding or graduate school scholarship, securing graduate school scholarship in the United States of America. You know, the in thing now is to Japan. Everybody wants to leave Nigeria. So it's actually a timely topic and it's a timely section. And here with us today is one of our own, a brother who graduated as the best graduate student from the Department of Economics in 2015. So he was part of the DLCF uniform and he's currently part of the DLCF uniform alumni. And after his graduation from the Department of Economics, University of Port Harcourt, he moved on to bag a master's in the University of Ibadan, after which he proceeded to start his PhD at the University of New Hampshire, USA, where he's currently undergoing his PhD on full right scholarship, like complete total scholarship. Yes, I know most of us want to travel abroad, actually want to go further our education outside the country, but challenge is how do we start? How do we start? What documents do we need? We have other questions, individual questions that are in our minds. So today we have somebody of our own that is telling us about how to go about it. And for those who are BSc holders, yes, it's also possible for you to go from BSc to PhD directly. So I think our speaker is really prepared to also touch those areas as well. So this is really going to be an interesting section. I just want all of us to pay full attention, And after he's done speaking, you can jot down your questions. You can type them down in the chat section, or you could also send them to me privately. Once he's done with the lecture, then we'll now have the question and answer section where we asking questions and we respond. I just hope and believe everybody here with their questions, because me, I came with a full truckload of questions for our speaker. So without wasting much time, we're getting into the business of the day. We'll be inviting our beloved brother Justin Tucci, to take over the section. Welcome, Sir Justin.
Yeah, thank you. I hope people are not scared of showing their faces, because me, I'm not scared.
There is no light.
Okay, no problem. Let's.
Now we are still in Nigeria. Let me tell you now.
No problem. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I get. But if you can show your face, fine. That would be good, so that we will flow together. So yeah, I'm really grateful to be here, and it's really a privilege to be here. So yeah, thank you so much. Sorry. All right. Sorry. If you are joining, kindly mute your mic so that we don't have feedback. So we are going straight to the business of the day. I'm going to share my screen right away. But I'm really delighted to hear voices, although I can't see faces, only Jerry. Yeah. But it's really memories about 5 years ago, right? It's 2021, 2015, about 5 years ago. So it's there. So I really thank God for this opportunity, and I'm praying to God that it's not just going to be just a knowledge thing, but it's going to be something that will have a lasting impact in our lives. And yeah, if we're able to take the little necessary steps. All right. So can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
All So this is what we have today. We just want to do today within the time we have. I know there will be a lot of questions. I may not exhaust this so that we can give room to question. The beauty of it is the more you ask questions, the more I'm able to give you direct answers to your question. All right. But what I've packaged together this evening, right? This evening is a kind of like a guide. So as we start bringing those questions coming, go helping me. I'll be more specific in those questions. All right. So what we have here, we have graduate school admissions and funding abroad. Now, yeah, it looks very encompassing abroad, but I'm really going to narrow down to the US. Now, I have reasons for doing that. The reason is I will tell you shortly. I will tell you shortly. All right, but notwithstanding, whatever process and method we're able to discuss here this evening, more or less apply to other countries in Europe and the UK and whatnot. So yeah, so we're gonna start. I want to start with motivation. The place of motivation cannot really be overemphasized in stuff like this. You need to get motivated. There are a lot of things we get involved into in our daily life that kind of demoralize us and make us lose that drive. Excuse me, the drive you had right from time. Okay, you had that drive that, okay, when you finish your study, probably before your BS, you had the drive of, having that international exposure, but things didn't just work out and you find yourself in the Nigerian university and you're able to, waggle your way out of the university system like we all did, and you still believe you have that dream going. Along the way, the whole thing will just fizzle out, and you just join the bandwagon in the hustling things in Nigeria. I mean, it's understandable, it's normal. But I just want to motivate you a little bit. Even after this section, that doesn't mean you are going to run with this vision. I don't want to be too optimistic. I need to be sincere with you, because I understand what it takes. Even after this section, you might along the line also get demoralized, not getting enthusiastic about the whole thing any longer, not be motivated. All right, it happens to everyone. So first and foremost, I want to motivate you that it is time to move forward. Then I have this quote. I don't know, it just came to my head as I was preparing. And I don't know, maybe it makes sense, maybe it doesn't make sense. Until you are tired of your present situation and condition, you will never take any tiresome challenge. I mean, I think it makes sense to me. I'm probably when it jumped out of my head and I put it down and I read it, it makes some sense, because sometimes if you're not really tired of your situation or condition of things, you might not really be willing to dare whatever it takes to advance. All right, because the situation you are still managing, you are still having some relief in it, and you're still okay with it, even though it's not a very good situation. But then when you now get tired of that situation, that condition, that is when you are willing and able to take tiresome challenge. Tiresome in the sense that the challenge might seem very, it may not really be palatable. The challenge might be very, very like an uphill task. But because you are totally tired of your situation, you are willing to dare that challenge. And I want to tell you, many people have done that, and they were ever grateful that they did. So the next thing I have here is to be intentional. Of course, we can't overemphasize this. You have to be intentional about whatever thing you are doing, your life, and how you want your life to be, your goal. Be intentional about it. Nobody can do it for you. Motivation speakers can only motivate you, but it is left for you to be intentional about this whole thing. Then the next one is be responsible for everything. Don't push blames to people, okay, to Uniport, like when many of us, we finish from Uniport. Yeah, you might be justified, or you can justify yourself to push blame to the system, to the government, to the school you went to. But then try to start taking responsibility of how things are going on in your life. Of course, we don't have control of where we find ourselves. I mean, where we are born into in life, but we have a control where we are going to get to in life. So be responsible for everything that happened to you. Just from the Bible, it says, "What seest thou?" You need to see the big picture. When before God, I'm not preaching now, but before God, before Jeremiah started his a ministerial journey as a prophet, he came to that encounter with God when God told him, when God asked him a question, "What seest thou?" That was really a defining moment in his life. That was really, a moment that turned his life around. And by God's grace, he was able to see something. Because what did the Lord said after he responded? The Lord said, "Thou hast well seen." I know you remember your Bible. So you have to see something that every other person may not see. And when you see that, you pursue with all you have. So these are just a few motivations. As we go on, I will also be motivating us as we touch the different aspect of the discussion. So I move forward. The next one I have here is roadmap. Yeah, I want to start with roadmap. When I mean roadmap, it's just the way I'm going to go about this whole presentation today. So I'm trying to move this Zoom stuff around so I can, better still, let me close it up. Okay. No, let me leave. Okay, so when I say roadmap, well, I'm just trying to make you guys understand the 4 pillars I'm going to cover briefly as time will permit us. So the first one is the what. And under that, what is it and what it is not. We're talking about a graduate obtaining graduate admission in the US with funding. What is it and what is not? Then the why. Is it really worth trying? Then we talk about the CB, that's the cost benefit analysis. Then you have the how, talking about the step-by-step guide, procedure, and process in the whole thing. Then we have finally the when to start and then when to take the step. All right, let's move straight to the first one, the what. Yeah, I need to say this, that the scholarship, graduate funding, graduate admission and funding in the US is not, might not necessarily be like the scholarship we used to know. Of course, I used to know those also. We are used to the, the Shell scholarships, the Chevron and all the rest of them. We write exams and stuff like that. Yeah, those are an aspect of a scholarship. Then also we are used to the NDDC, which also myself I tried over and over. No, not over and over. I think I tried once, and it didn't work out. Then also we also know about stuff like Commonwealth scholarship. Yeah, we also know about the Chevron scholarship. We also know about and the rest of them, AIG scholarships. So those scholarships, they are kind of unique. And this very one we want to focus on today is a little bit different and unique in itself. Now, those other scholarships, they are mostly you apply, and if you are being funded, if you are being picked or selected, they'll fund your studies, and they will, give you stipend, and you just go to school. Yeah, it looks very interesting and very rewarding. But then, like from experience, because most of the things I'll be speaking today, I want to take permission. I may be speaking, telling you guys more specific stories from my experience. So from my experience, like as at 2015, when we finished, or something about that time, I got my international passport because I've already wanted, it has always been my desire to push further, after the Uniport journey, and all the experiences over there. So I have always wanted that desire to, to pursue my academics beyond the shores of Nigeria. Yeah, I got my passport 2015, which has a 5 years validation. I started the journey of applying, a lot. I mean, if I show you the catalog of my file, I applied to a whole lot of things, a whole lot of scholarships. But because of the level of limitation in knowledge and information, I never for once tried the United States. Yeah, I tried many scholarships, both in the UK. Of course, I tried this Commonwealth, I tried the NDDC and all the rest of them. but they didn't really come successful. I kept asking myself, what exactly are they looking for, which I couldn't really figure out then. I never tried the US. So not until 2019, when my passport was almost about a year to expire, all right? So yeah, now let me go straight to what I have here. I have not different process. Okay, yeah, I've said that this very scholarship in the US, what is it? Now, the US system is designed, the academic system is designed in a way that they understand the requirement, the financial burden placed on graduate education in this US. They understand that it is almost impossible for one to enroll for studies here with out-of-pocket money, especially at the graduate level, the master's, and mostly at the PhD level. So what they do is that once you get admitted, about 90% about 90% times when you get admitted into these graduate schools, you will have what is called funding. All right, they don't really call it scholarship. They call it funding in the sense that you will be paid, you'll be given a role in the department that you are being admitted to. You'll be given a role like a pseudo staff. Let me use that word. A pseudo staff. You'll be given a role to play there in the department. So it is from that your role that you are being given as a result of you being admitted. From that, they will cover your tuition. They will waive your tuition. They will now give you stipend, which will take care of your living expenses. So that's just how it works. They will cover your tuition. Sometimes they will cover your health insurance, and even some schools, depending on schools and programs, they will even cover your accommodation fee. And also they will give you stipend. So that's how it works. So it's not like you're going to, most times it's not like you're going to apply for any particular scholarship. Also, some of these schools also have embedded scholarships, kind of skeletal scholarships here and there that they also offer along the line in the program. But those ones are just like peanut compared to that massive one you get being admitted. You can just get scholarship for about $5,000 or $2,000. But in admission, for instance, in my program, PhD in economics, University of New Hampshire, my total package in my admission was about $62,000. And if you punch your calculator, you know what that means. It's a whole lot of money. I don't think I can afford such an amount of money. And it's not just for the program, for the whole program. For one academic calendar, about $62,000. So, and I'm going to do that for the next 5 years because the program is 5 years, all right? So it's a lot. So that is how it comes. So they give you that package. They will give you the role to play. You have to play some role. You have to do some work in the department, either as teaching assistant, or research assistant, or graduate assistant. All right, whichever role they give. So you're like a staff. Even in the school, they will consider you as a staff. If you are sending out mails to staff, they will always send you mail because you are like in the payroll system. So it's not like the normal scholarship we know that we apply, go to write exam, stuff like that. This is more like admission. So the focus is to get admitted in the school or in the department. That is just the focus, all right? So that is what this funding in the United States is all about. So we don't concentrate on scholarship or funding, but we concentrate on admission. When you hear some people talking, they'll say, I want to get admission into the US, because when they get admission, there is high chance and high likelihood that they will be funded, all right? Yeah, so like I said, it's more like a job. You're like working in the department also as a student, all right? So, and who wouldn't want that? I remember my case, of course. I like back then in Nigeria, I know even with my master's degree, I was able to get a job with the federal government. And I think I was in about 100 plus, there about 120, 130. Yeah. But then I was just having my master's degree, and the job, I work with an institute, research institute, which requires me to have a PhD for promotion. So I still need to go and, and do a PhD and come back. but the institute is not ready to fund that. So I now think about it. What if I get admission where I will be paid for studying and also working in the department? That is awesome. Think about it, when you are being paid about over $1,000 in 2 weeks. That's a whole lot of money. So it's even better than staying over there and yeah. So I think it's a better bet and a better option, as long as I am concerned. I also believe you are. Now, why the US? There are reasons. Of course, people may have their preferences. UK, Canada, Europe, awesome. But I'm much inclined to the US because I'm studying the US. Excuse me. Like I told you, I've made a lot of applications for scholarships and stuff like that in the past, which never worked. I only did the US in 2019, and that was it. So and I like the system. I like their package and everything. And for just for your information, I have this. I need to just open this link just to tell you why the US kind of stood out. Is a Wikipedia information. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, I
All
can see.
right, thank you. So like Wikipedia information, this is 2019. Investment in research and development. Research is huge in the US. Like this is in billions. All right. So in 2019, that is how they do it. It's a research-driven economy. All right. They believe so much in research. So they invest a lot. And all this money, they are not going anywhere than the university. So there is a strong linkage between the university and the industry here in the United States. So all this money you are seeing that they are investing is in the universities. So the professors will just begin to write a proposal to get grants, and most times many of them get grants. So all this money, and when they get the grant, definitely we need students to work with them in their lab and also in the program. So now compared to this is UK, we have just about 51 billion. See the margin is a lot, and this is Canada. So that is just giving you a picture of what the US is like when you talk about investing in research. And the research has to do with universities, not like what we used to know, invest in research, and there is a total separation from university and other. Research here is the research institute, universities, they are the one responsible for carrying out those research. So when you have this kind of money in the economy rolling around within the universities or in the country, is a lot. So definitely there's a whole lot of money there for people to leverage on and to work on. So that is it. I just want to show you this. So let me go back to my slide. All right. Okay, sorry, I didn't. Okay. Yeah, so then again, the reason for US is because of the international exposure and connection you have. Of course, I may be biased, but that's just the truth. The truth is that no matter how you look at it, the US still remains the #1 country in the world. China is really working hard. It might not be a perfect economy, but it still stands out. And I'm telling you, when you get over here, you understand what I mean by that. So that international exposure and connection alone in the US is a whole lot. It's a whole lot for your career development, for your social capital, is a lot. And also they have one of the best academic system and in the world. Of course, like I said, the research is excellent and academic exposure. Then also, why do you need this journey? You need it for a life-changing path. We cannot push that aside. We can't push that aside. A life-changing path, a better and brighter future. I want to emphasize on those two. Yeah, we have our career. Yeah, we have our goal. Yeah, we have our passion. But then if everything we are doing, I mean, I want to even say that all that we are doing is to have a life-changing path and also, and a better and brighter future. That is just it. Whatever you are into right now, whatever maybe whatever thing you are into now, I'm telling it to you that the bottom line is for you to have a better life. For you, your family, and even the family you are still going to make if you're not yet married. So that is just the bottom line. So Now the question now comes, why is it that people are not, being passionate about this journey and the rest of them? Well, I don't know, but I need to correct some myth. There is this ideology that, okay, I don't have the brain to carry book again. That after uniform, in fact, some person was like, see, as I graduate, finish like this, I know they read, even signboard, I know they read because uniform don't stress me, uni stress, right? Okay. So, but then the thing is this, and some person might wish to, go into different things and venture into different business, or maybe start working, maybe as teaching and stuff, just to do something. But then if you talk about anything that relates to studies or academic, they will tell you, no, no, it's not for me. Well, what is a choice actually? But then I want to put it to you that what is the end of those things you are doing is to get a better and a brighter future. I think that is just the end towards it. That is the end. Now, what if you are being given the opportunity to just tax your, of course, if you are able to go through the stress of Uniport and spend 4 or 5 years there or more, I think you can still bend your head and still read and get paid for reading. Yeah, and I think it's really worth it. So, well, I know it's not really for everyone. Some persons don't have that inclination, but if you do, and probably you are scared of, probably your head, like people will say, sorry, permit me, I know this might be going live, but we are Nigerians here. So people will say, my head, no, they carry book, those are myths. I don't believe in all those things. My head, no, they carry book. It's not true. It's just because probably you have conditioned your mind. If you sit down and give this an attention, you will really see that you are going to make. And again, when you have a better, a convenient environment and also opportunity, you will really, really do it. So my stress is this. You should begin to rethink of your ideology and your mindset about, okay, it has to do with education. Yeah, like some person will tell me, Justin, the only book you sabi read. Well, not the only book I sabi read though, because I know what is pursuing me and I know what I'm pursuing. And who told you that when you are here, you are stuck in book alone? That's not true. Like I say, it's just like you are working. You are working, you are studying. At the end of the day, you get your degree, you are being paid all the time, and you will have a better life. Why not? I mean, you carry on with your life. It's not that you are just like what we had there in Nigeria. You are a student until 4 or 5 years after. No, it doesn't work that way here. You are a student here, but you are being paid. And you can also continue other areas of your lives. So it shouldn't have it like if you come into this thing now, you are back to another cycle of academic journey. Of course it is, but then it's not like what we used to have over there in Nigeria. So I just want to buttress that. So to kind of also give a heads up and motivate you also, especially those that feel that they don't have anything to do with reading books again. Yeah, if you tell me that you're gonna pay me while reading book, why will I not read book? Why will I be comfortable working with an empowered job of 30,000 naira and struggling and well, if I have that capacity to hustle, I can also channel that capacity to let me read book and pay me. And at the end of that, get a degree, get even a better job. It's all win-win for me as long as I'm concerned. All right, so that's some of my reasons for why you need to push on with this graduate studies abroad and in the United States specifically. Then how? Now, before I go into the how, I just want to motivate you a little bit. I have a brother, I think, specifically I told him to join, that was bro Jerry. When Jerry, we all knew bro Jerry, yeah, we actually left them and when we finished and they were all doing well. So he finished and he finished with a good grade. So we got talking somehow. And because I've always been this passionate about stuff like this, okay, seeing people, you have done your best, you have achieved a particular degree, okay, fine. Let's see how we can move this thing forward. That has always been my mind. So we got talking, sharing ideas. Okay, what about this? What about trying, abroad and stuff like that? So the conversation, like a drop of water, gradually, it was building up gradually. And God so kind, he didn't lose the enthusiasm, all right? And I think when he got more motivated, because I think when we started the conversation, I hadn't gotten my admission then. It was when I got my admission, funding, everything, I shared with him, and I kind of motivated him. And I thank God he took that drive and initiative, and he did everything that he ought to do. And today he's in the what was that university again? Is it the Oklahoma State? I think Oklahoma State Investors or thereabout. So he just came this fall, and I was really happy that okay, in a way or the other, we were able to play a role or the other in making that a reality. That is just what I desire for every one of us. So that's why sometimes I push information, and I don't know how many people key into it. And so I want to encourage you to, these things are not like rocket science. Yeah. Like when we're growing up, we don't, thinking about US is like something that is not within reach. And probably some of you are still having that mindset set, but not, it is not. As long as you have these tools, and that's why we are going to the how now, you have these tools, as simple as they are. Although they can stress you, but if you are very passionate about where you're going to, you can dare the stress, all right? All right, the how now, quickly, we have necessary documents. Now, if you have already gotten the passion and the drive to, to study abroad, and you've concluded that you want to end it, you want to try the United States, what are the ways to go about it? The first thing, you have this necessary document. The first thing is your international passport. Of course, if you have this dream of studying abroad or doing anything abroad, the first thing you should be thinking of is to have your international passport. In fact, that should be something you can just invest into to kind of drive you. Because whenever you bring out your international passport and look at it, that drive of this thing is not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to use this thing to travel abroad. It will motivate you to still to be, kind of looking around opportunities where that international passport will be beneficial to you. Of course, you don't just get it for getting sake. So that's the first thing. Get your international passport, even before, because you will need it in different applications. So the first thing you should do, if you don't have one, try to make arrangement and get one as soon as possible. Then the next thing, as long as the US is concerned now, like I said, I'm going to focus on the US, is standardized tests. Now, these tests, I think this is also one area that people get tuned off, or they get like, oh, test again, exam again. Yeah, it is a test that is called standardized because it is structured in a way that every person from every discipline can take it. All right. It's not like, okay, it's only for science people, it's only for engineering, it's a standardized test. If you are coming from the art discipline, you can take the test and pass. If you are coming from public health or medicine, you can take the test and pass. So it's a standardized test. And we have the IELTS, which by God's grace, we have one of us there coordinating it there back there in Nigeria, doing amazing things. The person of Bro Prince, my main man. So I think under campus help. So you can easily, you have people there you can easily, get more of this information from. All right. So that is one of the requirements, the standardized test. You have the IELTS, you have the TOEFL, then the GRE. Now, this test could be waived, like as I put here. There are some schools that waive some of these tests, all right? And there are some programs or departments that specifically, they don't really consider some of these standardized tests. And also, for the TOEFL English test, that's the TOEFL and the IELTS, sometimes if you are from a country where English happen to be the mode of instruction you receive while you go through your maybe high school and college, that's a university, they can, if you give a proof by writing, they can waive even the TOEFL for you. That's school specific anyway. All right, so that is one of the requirements. I don't know we have time. I would have loved to go and check up. But it's as simple as that. Just go Google it, like schools in the US that waive or that don't require GRE. It's as simple as that. You see a lot of them. Then you begin to dig deeper into your department if your department is actually necessary. Probably I should just click here. Let's just have a view of one or two. Yeah, because there has been contention about GRE, how useful it is, and how does it really specify the knowledge capacity. Like this one, GRE not needed, and a couple of them, University of Minnesota not needed, New York University not needed, Texas A&M Austin University not needed. So we have a couple of them. They don't really need this GRE for admission. I saw a hand raised. Can I take the question now or after the whole thing? Moderator? Moderator, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Can I take this? I saw your hand raised.
No, no.
Okay. Please, Calvin, the rule the moderator said at the beginning is after the whole thing, we're going to look into questions. I know there will be a lot of questions. So if that will even make me to answer.
There's no question. I can't see your screen. I'm only seeing this.
Can any other person not see my screen?
Yes,
Yes, me too. I can't see your screen. It's only the slide I'm seeing.
Okay, the slide.
Just the
It's only the slide.
Yeah, just the slide.
Okay, when I got
website.
Okay, when I put you didn't see it. Why?
Yeah, we didn't see it.
Okay, can you see now?
No.
Okay.
No, try
you
have to share that thing. Share your screen tab.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I didn't really. All right, can you see it now?
Yes, we can.
All right. That means the first one I did, you guys didn't see it.
Yes.
The first one I did about US investing in research, and it's okay, no problem. So like I was saying, I have this pulled up from the internet, just normal random Google search type schools that waive GRE in the US is there. They will just pull up a lot for you. We have University of Washington, Seattle not required, University of Minnesota not required, New York University not required, then Texas, and on Northeastern University. So that is just like one of it. Some of these schools, they don't require GRE. Then also, sometimes it's not the whole school, it's not the whole department. I mean, it's not all the departments in the school, but some specific departments don't really require the GRE thing. So you have to just take note of that. I'll go back to share my slide. Can you see my slide now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So yeah. So those are now. Then again, when I say sometimes a school might require this test, but then it's a little bit flexible. If you can write to them, give them some reason, not like out of not like a kind of a rocket science reason, just simple reason why you cannot take the test. It's fine. In fact, one of the reasons people use these days, because of COVID-19, the pandemic, I know it's not really a thing in Africa, but it's a thing here. It has affected a lot of things. So people leverage on that. In fact, some schools began to, relax on some of this because of COVID, the impact of COVID, the economic impact. So if you can write, okay, because of COVID, economically, you are not stable, you don't have the wherewithal, and present to them, send them that you are requesting for a waiver. Most schools or some schools, they will consider it, and if they don't, then you can also explore other options. Now, I'm making this emphasis because some persons may not have the capacity to write all this exam. When I mean capacity, financial capacity, but personally, I want to encourage, if you are really out for this, admission thing, and you are really all out for it, and you want to get it badly, right? For me, my own principle is that it's better I get overqualified and overprepared than not getting some documents. Now, one thing about the schools that don't require GRE is this. If they waive GRE for you, you must show other documents that will convince them that you have the capacity to go through the academic system in the US. What do I mean by that? Some of them will write that you have maybe about 3 or 4 years working experience. Some of them will require you to produce some, you must have done a lot of publication. The emphasis is that if you rule out GRE, you also have to make sure you have a robust package. That your application package will be robust because you are competing with the world, Indians, Chinese, Asians. And these people are, I don't want to use, these people are really, they're on top. Then when you see some of their credentials, you'll be like, what's going on here? So, sorry, Amara, could you mind muting yourself, please? Okay, thank you. So like, yeah, so I was saying, in fact, we got talking about this GRE thing with some friends some time ago. Well, like, see, it will be to our disadvantage, so to say, if they scrape or if they remove GRE as a requirement, because when they remove GRE, the weight of the requirement will now be on the other documents, and they want to see a very good statement of purpose, a very good sound, very rich CV, and other things, letter of reference. But with GRE, we from Africa, we can leverage on GRE because when you write your GRE and you score like about 300 thereabout, I'm telling you, when they see that score, there's this thing in them that gives them that impression that yeah, you have that capacity. All right. Even what I did was when I was applying, my school didn't require, they waived TOEFL for me, but I still put it because I've written those exams. I told you I had to pack I make sure I have my package is very, very strong. So I submitted the TOEFL, I submitted the GRE. Now the idea is that when they have a situation where there may be like a tie in making a decision, difficult decision between two people, even though they waive GRE, even though they don't consider GRE as a strong application requirement, but if someone, even though GRE was waived, but someone still submitted GRE, definitely they're going to pick the person who has a GRE. That's if they come to a point of making decision between two people, final decision between two people, they will pick someone who has a GRE. I'm telling you, the thing is, some of these things, they put it there on the website, but inside we know some of the things that are going in. They still value GRE. So my advice is, if you can afford these things, it's just a little time and effort it will require from you. And it's not even like breaking the bank money. It's about 40 or 50,000 if you follow a very good right link. I know some persons do a lot of things and register all these exams. But GRE, I'm very sure of GRE. It's about, if you follow a very good link, you can get it for about 50,000 thereabout. So why not get yourself prepared and get all these set up before you start your application? Then the next thing is your transcript, academic transcripts. Make sure you get all your transcripts. I know it's sometimes it can be challenging, but then try to get at least your student transcript. Do you know that when I was doing my application, because I don't know, the Uniport they don't send a transcript. So what I did was this: I have my student record sheet. Of course, I have it. They gave us in final year, from my year 1 to final year, and they have all my results and everything. So that was what I actually used. I used those. I prepared those. It was in a separate sheet and all. I prepared it, arranged it in a very concise document, and I used it to apply. All right. Of course, I indicated that it is student copy, but it went. They considered it because, of course, I don't have access to the official copy as at then. So even if you don't have your results transcript, you can and you know all your results, maybe the grade and the score. You can create a template, put all those things. First year, first semester, second year, first semester, and put them there. Put at the end of the day, put your final CGPA, and you stated there that this is student copy. It will go for the admission process. Then when you get admission, you can easily start contacting Unipol to send directly to them. All right. So that is very, very important. Even though you are now, I think I also want to emphasize also at this point that now there's also this myth about, okay, I don't have my academic transcript is looking very shallow, or I didn't graduate with a first class or a 2-1. All right, I mean, I know those grades, they also have a way of boosting one's chances. But then it's not like a final thing. It's not like absolutely that without it, you can't get admission. People with even third class, they get admission in the US. Even HND, they also get admission. It depends on how you package this thing. Then again, if you discover a loophole in your transcript and your CGPA, the question is, what have you done to try to fill in that loophole? Because they will ask you, probably you got a series of low grades in some courses that are core courses to your field. For instance, engineering, all those core courses, I can't even remember any core course in engineering right now. Okay, let's say chemistry. I know chemistry from biochemical and all those chemistry department, the course chemistry is a very core course. Probably you didn't really do very well. Maybe you got like a D, E, and all those stuff, C. They will ask you what really happened, why this drop in these grades. Now the question is, what have you done after then to kind of augment for that shortage in that grade, in your transcript, or in your low CGPA? That's the place of volunteering. That's the place of doing some other extra thing that will also speak for you. For instance, volunteering to work in a lab. You work in a lab, that's after graduation, you work in a lab, work in a lab for a while, you acquire skills, and probably you even get the lab, the professors in the lab, I mean, they're in Nigeria, they know you, they can easily write things about you. Or maybe you go and acquire more skills, something that will speak for you, that will make them understand that, yes, probably some things went wrong during your college. That was why those grades were like that. But after then, this and this and this are what I have done. I have worked in this lab, and during my stay in this lab, I did this, I did this, I did that. And the professor, during my time, he or she published this paper, published that paper, and I was instrumental in working in this specimen. You know, things like that. It will look more direct. And those things will kind of fill up the gap in your transcript. So that brings me to the point of a statement of purpose and personal statement. This very document, after your aside your transcript, is very, very key if you want to get admission here, because they don't know you, they don't know who you are. The only place they can relate who you are after your transcript only give them the idea of the courses you have taken, how prepared you have been, how you have been preparing yourself for the graduate school, the courses you have taken, because some graduate school courses, they have some foundational courses you must have taken in your undergrad. So they will put it there. You must have taken this course, taken that course in your undergrad for you to really fit in here. So that's what your transcript, but they don't know who you are. They don't know exactly what you have been through and what you are bringing to the table. And so that is where your statement of purpose or personal statement comes in. This document is very key. And it's not something you just write, standing and write and submit. No, it's something you take your time, because a lot depends on this. I want to quickly share with you guys a few personal statements and just give you, there's no one way to writing it, but the thing is, there are some specific content that must be there. And if you want to know exactly the specific content, you should go to your school, go to the school that you want to apply to. They have their requirement. When you get to place of statement of purpose or personal statement, they will write it there that this and this and this that are what they are looking out for in your statement of purpose or personal statement. So you follow that guideline and you write what you write to them. I want to quickly share something with you. let's see. All right. Okay. Okay, yeah, this is mine. Yeah, this is mine. Now, of course, you tell all the story. Of course, you have to tell stories now. Make so, what I'm saying is not like there's no one way to doing this. It depends on what your school is actually looking for. But then there are some things that are vital. You have to start strong. You start strong. You begin to tell them about your passion. Begin to tell them how interested you are in these things. All right. Then you tell your stories. What and what have you done to prepare you for the program? All right. And so I started off in this first paragraph telling story about. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Okay. So I started by telling stories
Yes, sir.
about how passionate I am with economics, blah blah blah, and all those things, and some of the key areas I'm interested in working in economics, and and how these things kind of is in alignment with what is obtainable in the University of New Hampshire Economics program, PhD program. So additionally, I now began to talk about some of the things I've done and some of what I was doing right now. Then I was working in NISA, that's the institute I told you guys of. Yeah, and I said it, okay, yeah, this makes sense that, okay, why do you want a PhD in economics? So this is it. I work in a research institute in Nigeria, and PhD is required for, promotion, and that is it. So then I continued the story. Then I now come over here, begin to highlight the school, how the school intersect with my interest, all right, and what the school is all about. And of course, before you can do this, you must have researched the school and know some in-depth things about them, all right? Now look at, I cited some professors that I'm interested in their work, Professor Karen Conway, and these people, not just citing them, I also specify the works they did. This is it in the quotation for this other, for one professor, then this is it, the work they did. So although I didn't read the work, but I saw those work and they looked like what is interesting to me. I didn't read in depth. So sometimes you can even read deeply. If you read deeply and you understand those work and you even find an idea from what they have done and you put it there, it's going to really be interesting. And it will be interesting to them that you read their work and you found an idea that is going to help in their work. So I did all those. Then I concluded with this. Then again, I kind of tell some story. You need to make your statement of purpose to be a little bit, let it have a human face. Sorry, Comfort, Chuku, Comfort, please. You raise a hand. Oh, that's the moderator. Okay. How many minutes left?
Yes. About 26 minutes.
All right. Is that what you want to tell me?
No, I sent you a message.
Okay, you sent me a message. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let me see. Oh, good. I got it. So you now begin to highlight a lot of things you have done. Now you want to make your statement of purpose to have a human face. So take some stories that sounds very real, that can also connect to what you are going for. All right. Yeah. So this is something from somebody, a friend of mine, is from what's it called? Is in science, molecular, blah blah blah. So that's it. So let's move on. For the interest of time. So I try to dwell a little bit on that statement of purpose because that's a very strong document, and you don't want to just write it haphazardly, and also you want to allow people to vet it for you. So you want to start writing as early as possible so that you have the time for people to go through it. So you have your CV that cannot be overemphasized. You put all the things you know that will add to your profile on the CV. Then the reference letter. This is very key too. What your referees will write for you matters. If possible, coin the letter yourself. Tell your professor over there that, sir, I have this letter of recommendation. I want you to write for me. I know you are very busy, so I have this draft for you to just edit. Coin the letter, write a lot of things exhaustively that you want to be in that letter so that your professor can easily edit. And it must not necessarily be a full-time professor, because over here in the US, as long as you are in the academics, you become a professor. It's not like you are identified as a professor. Then as you climb, you get to a point, you become a full professor. So even a doctor can write a statement of purpose for you, all right? It must not necessarily be a professor. Then, and most times there are 3 of them, then the application fee. Yeah, this is also what trips people off from applying to the US schools. I know in the UK you can apply. I did that almost all the time. In the next 2 weeks, they've given you admission without no application fee, but no funding. You have to pay through your nose. So they don't do that. So application fees, yeah, you can, and also it can be waived. Then, like I put, the additional document that you feel will make you stand out is also required. Then what are the actions to take? Now, the first thing, the actions to take is searching for schools. Sometimes it can be very, very tiring, but it is something you must do. You cannot shy away from it. What does it take? You can just go to Google and type anything related to your school, all right? Just quickly, is that page? All right, let's just, let's say public health. So I put list of US grad school offering public health. You see a lot of things, you just see them here. So you from there, in fact, we even have a list here, John Hopkins and all the rest of. So from here, you begin to pick them one after the other and begin to go into them one after the other and to see their program, what it entails, who are there, what they require. It's as simple as that, and also it can be very, very tiring, I know, but then it's worth doing. So that is searching for schools. Then I said target both high and safe schools. What that means is in the US, there are about over 4,000 universities. Now, over 4,000 universities, if you have schools that are within the first 150 or 200, they're not bad. As a matter of fact, it is most times is over one from the way we see these things from home is different from what it is here. As a matter of fact, all the likes of the Harvards, the MITs, they are good schools, but they are not so much revered. Like nobody really cares, so to say. Like I don't know, you may not understand, but that's just the truth. Nobody cares, but so if you're making your application, number one, understand your package. What package do you have? How strong is your package? Then target both high and safe schools. Safe schools are schools that may not be known. There's a school called the Tulane University. My friend just got in there. And I didn't really know that school. But when, he was doing, I also encouraged him, he was doing those random applications to different schools. Tulane University sound very weird. I mean, it's not the MIT, it's not the, the Harvard, it's not the University of Florida, all those common names. But when I Google, I discovered that school is 50. Is in the list of schools in the US is number 50. I know what that means. Over 4,000 schools, Tulane University. So there are schools that are not too pronounced, but they are good. When I mean they are super good. All right. Now, why do you need to do this? So that your chances of being admitted will be high. Because if you want to compete with high school, it's a good thing to be ambitious, but also you have to be very, very careful of your ambition. Then also try to contact faculty, that's the professors. There's what is called cold mail. You send them cold mail. I know we are running out of time. Let me quickly just share these few cold mails to you guys. to show you what I mean by cold mails. Now, something like this, you go to a program, you go to a department you want, go to the faculty, look at the professors there. You see the one that, of course, their CVs are there, their websites are there. You see the one that is doing something related to what you are doing. You send them just this first contact mail, just random mail like this, stating some of these few things, being more directional and specific in how your mail looks like. Then you attach your CV and your transcript to them. Because the reason is this, especially in the sciences, if you're able to contact a professor who already has a research going, and he or she finds was convinced by what you have done and your profile, he or she will encourage you to go ahead and apply. And you want to believe me that your application is almost like certain that you're going to get that offer. So contact the professors, tell them what you want to do and what you have done. Or also you can contact the graduate program coordinator. All right, they have them in every department. Just look for their mail. I need to rush up now. Then ask questions about funding availability. You don't just do this thing. You don't just be specific. If you want to ask questions, ask questions. Here in the US, information is your right. So ask questions. Don't feel that you are asking too much, or maybe they think that you're after money. No, ask questions and be very, very direct about it. Apply to as many schools as possible. All right. So I just want to show you. Okay. All right. Okay, so yeah, then this STEM program means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So if you apply to STEM, any of the STEM program, you have about 36 months to work in the US after your program, all right? And most times, or sometimes, if your company, the company can fight for you, and that's how you get green card, and that's how your life starts here. So a whole lot of opportunities about it. Okay, this is a sample mail to the graduate coordinator. Like say, I am SSS bachelor, blah, blah, blah. I'm considering submitting an application to your department as your program aligns with my research career interests. I have a few questions. So be specific with your questions. Don't beat around the bush. Does your program place GRE as a requirement? What are the chances of getting funding in your program? When is the earliest application deadline to be considered for funding your program? You look at how specific those questions are. Don't count them, they're rude though. No, they like you to be straightforward. Just anything that comes to them, anything you want to ask for, send them a mail and ask for those things. And I'm telling you, they will easily reply. So finally, when to apply? The bottom line is you have to apply, start now, all right? Now, but there is an academic cycle. There is fall semester and there is spring semester. You have to watch out the program you're coming for if they admit in fall, if they admit in spring. But I'm very sure that most programs admit in fall, in the fall semester, that's the August, September. But some programs can also admit in the spring. So you have to look out for those and also pay attention to the deadlines. Then have a targeted admission cycle. Now, the last thing I have is to start now in your application. The final word, it may be overwhelming. The information might just be too much for you to process at a time. I understand. But then try to take them bit by bit. Try to keep the fire passion to see your dream come to pass. Connect with others in the same boat with you. People you know that they're also in the same struggle. Connect with them so that when the fire is going down, you can get them. They can also spur you up. When you feel less motivated, find someone to talk to. I'm telling you, there are times, even myself, during my time, I got discouraged, I got less motivated, but it just happened that in my office, my colleague in the office, in the same office where he was also preparing for GRE, I got motivated because I've already done the thing. I was working, of course, with over 100,000 Naira salary. So why will I be pursuing all this thing again? But along the line, I discovered that my colleague in the office with me, I saw him solving something. I said, oh boy, they prepare for GRE. He said, yeah, so I'm doing it. So that woke my lost passion. I went back, dust my books, start preparing for GRE. And you know what? I'm not just saying it to make a jest. But at the end of the day, I wrote and I passed. I got admission, but he's yet to get. I'm still trusting God that he's going to get. So what I'm saying in essence, when you feel less motivated, because that time will come, even with all this you've had, you may have this fire in you, but along the line, it will die down. Look for someone to talk to. You can actually reach me, and I will try my best to give you some words. If at first you don't succeed, all you just have to do is to try again. Don't give up. Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Thank you so much for your time. Yeah, so that's all I have for you. I'm sorry, I don't know. I must have overshoot the time. So yeah, sorry
No,
about
you
that.
were right on time. You're right on time.
Oh, thank you. So
So thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. Like I learned a whole lot of new things. So go to question time. So if you have any question, maybe raise your hand or you drop your questions in the chat box so that we can proceed. It's very fast now in Nigeria. Hope nobody has dozed off. So I'll be waiting for the
yeah, you're
questions
free
in the
to ask
chat.
questions. This is we now. I mean, so nobody should be shy here now.
Yeah.
And I have Jerry here too. He just had the experience just a couple of months ago. So he also has some fresh experience if he can also jump in and, you know. So you guys should feel free to ask questions. Don't be shy. We DLCF things. Not Justin, now Justin, now on the CEO. No be, this is not there. So feel free and let's
Jerry, good evening.
Yeah, good day from my end.
Yeah. So I'm waiting for the questions. Let me see if anybody can send in. Everybody's just saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Nobody asked the questions back.
I think I have Ezekiel. It's been a while I saw this guy. And I saw you enter Uniport, come on, leave us, go Ghana. I mean, where did you go to study then?
Good evening.
Ezekiel, I can see your hand.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. How are you doing?
I'm good. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good. Good
Wow.
to see you again. Good to hear you. I can't see you, but good to hear you. I'm really happy. I'm remembering those days.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Good to see you, sir.
Yeah.
And can I go on, moderator? I think someone was about to speak.
Okay, Ezekiel, you can go on.
Okay, so good evening, everybody. And thank you so much, Mr. Justin. Wow, so much you've dished out, so much information. And to be frank with you, I'm a part of those category of people that look at US as a no-go area, as a big like something to trash with. But you've really explained everything, and rightly with the fact you've raised up, almost like I was almost like getting so enthused and challenged to like look at US with a second eye. So thank you so much. Well, when I talk about US, some things come to mind, and maybe part of those biases made us to shy away from considering US. Well, we're trusting God to further, so we're looking out for admissions here and there, but I've never like looked at US twice. So one of those is like I want to confirm from you the issues of like racism. Okay, is it that prevalent? And also, to add to that, I know we spoke about how multinational, like a multi-diverse US is. Very well. That's quite interesting. Meeting a lot of people, the international experience is awesome. But my concern was like ahead of employment, where like the whole system is congested. I don't know whether there's that flexibility or that environment where, okay, if you come in, you definitely will know you will find a place to start something on. The possibility of that you finish school, okay, you can have work to do, okay, maybe after work, after school and all that. That's just a little from my end. Yeah, that's the questions I had. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Okay. I can't take that one immediately. So, the first one about racism. Well, the truth is that racism is something that is there, like is there, but this is me or this is you. Now, racism is a reality in the global system, especially the Western world and the Black. Is a reality. We are not going to rule that away. But the question is, are we going to dwell on racism and shy away? There is no country, as long as the West is concerned, that racism is not practiced in one way or the other. But then it all depends on your mindset. Like myself, as a matter of fact, the state I am in has over 98% white. The blacks there are below 1%, then Asian and the rest. So when I got to know that information, I had a little bit concern, especially about this issue of racism. But I must be honest with you that this is one of the best places I've been. Like, I must be sincere. I'm not just saying it to, these people are just nice. I mean, I don't go around with the cap of racism on my head. I'm being so conscious. What is he saying? What are they saying? Are they not referring to me? I don't just do that. Just live your life and relate with them normal. And they're just super nice. So to me, racism, I wouldn't want to bring the broader notion of racism and narrow it down to yourself and begin to work with that consciousness. These people they are considered to be racist. Is it not going to affect me? Well, it's not something I would encourage anyone. And if you want to base on that, then we may not really end up making some strategic move. All right. So the issue of racism is there in the society, is there, whatever. My own is I do my thing here. And as long as I'm concerned, many schools in the US, they are beginning to inculcate this because there's this diversity and inclusion that is prevalent in the US, especially in their school system. In fact, their ranking and their funding to get funding mostly depend on how many of international students they are able to attract. So there may be some folks that are, here and there doing racism and all those stuff. That doesn't mean I should stay back because there is racism over in the US or maybe there is a lot of random killings in the US. The truth is that the world as it is now is not safe. Even in our Black nation in Nigeria, there is also racism. It might not be white and Black racism, even in your locality. So a lot of things. So what I tell people, I don't so much subscribe with the consciousness of racism and base my decision and movement on racism. Racism is too broad for me to begin to carry on my head and begin to get so conscious about it. So that's it. Then the second one about, do you mind reminding me again of what was that? Just a word or two I can easily remember.
Okay, yes, employability, yes.
Okay, yeah. So about employability. Now, I don't know where you got the information from, but even in the pandemic, the US also economy happens to be one of the economies that are still, the employment is still very, very robust. Now here, it's not like I'm trying to say to impress anyone, but the truth is that employment is not like a thing here. All right, especially if you are from the STEM program. Seriously, you are like more of hotcake. Jeremiah is there, is in mathematics. You understand what I'm talking about. So the issue of employment it shouldn't be something to bother about because the economy is robust enough to absorb you, especially when you come out with your degrees, because sometimes some of them here, they don't really go that far to getting all these higher degrees. So when international students come and get the degrees, and here the employment is not based on they do racism or something. If you have the qualification, they pick you wherever you are, whoever you are. So the economy is robust enough to employ, to give employment to as many as possible when you finish your program. So for me, I don't think that should be a very strong concern from my little knowledge here. So Jerry, do you want to say something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good day, everyone. Bro Justin, thank you for the opportunity. I want to talk about the racism stuff. So I know many people have that mindset that when you come to the US and or to any other country in the West, that there is this bias against blacks. Well, it is true, but it's not also the complete truth. Yes, in my department, I'm the only black student. In fact, the other black student that should have showed up didn't come up. I think she's from Ghana. Yep. But she didn't, I think, I don't know what happened, but she didn't arrive Oklahoma. Maybe she got under funding, So, but since I came here, I've never had any problem like that with anybody. So they flow with you they just want to know um what is in the heart of the professors is not where you're coming from, but what are you able to bring to the table. So it's not really about um where you're coming from or that. No. In my class here I'm the only black teaching assistant. Like so when you're in the class, I just as if you don't, but the interaction with everybody is just cordial. There's nothing like that. So take that issue of racism away from your mind. And more so, currently, since I came here, I'm taking at least 3 online courses, and I'm taking 2 currently before 16th of this month. That's a week today. One of them is diversity and inclusion. So in the workspace, just like Justin said. So in the US currently, there is this move for diversity, and that is why the US economy is more than any other country. And I'm not sure any country can beat that because they value diversity. So sometimes you get funding or admission not because you had a good course, rather you had a good result, but because they want to make their economy and their academic environment as diverse as possible. So one of the applications I wrote when I was with Education USA was on diversity. The US is called a melting pot. That is a place where people from various nationalities come together to work in harmony to achieve a common purpose. So that is the structure of the economy here. So don't have the mind that if I come here, there is this stereotype against me or anything like that. Yet, I've seen such people, but it's not really pronounced as maybe you know it. Thank you.
Thank you. That was awesome. Thank you, Jerry.
Okay, thank you very much, Jerry and Justin. So I'll go straight to reading out questions from the chat box. So the number one question is from Amara. She was asking concerning the volunteering stuff. I think you mentioned something about volunteering experiences, so I think that's what she's referring to. She said concerning the volunteering stuff, will it be required that the person gets the volunteering letter signed by the hospital or someone at the top?
Okay, that's a quick one to answer. Okay, now if you find such good, you can just put it as additional document. But if you don't, it's okay. It's enough for you to state it in your CV and put it in your statement of purpose. As a matter of fact, this society, they thrive a lot on integrity and honesty. Sometimes when some of you come over, you begin to understand. Sometimes you begin to see some things like, really? So they believe so much what you've written, what you have on your CV, and that's why some bad guys will just cook up things. So what I'm saying is, if you don't have any opportunity of signing anything or submitting supporting document, but you did those things, write them in your CV with date and with some specific things you did. Like did this. This was the impact. This was what I did. Then in your statement of purpose or letter of personal statement, put them there and make it more detailed so that whoever reads it will relate that this thing is true. So you don't really need to put any sign anything at all. Like me, I didn't give all the things I wrote in my statement of purpose. I didn't put anything. I didn't submit any additional document at all. Just make it explicit on your statement of purpose and also on your CV.
Okay, thank you very much. So the next question is from Eva. She said, can GRE be substituted for IELTS or vice versa? I think she's having an issue with understanding what each standardized test is for. So,
sorry, I didn't take time to expatiate. The GRE is called the graduate record, GRE graduate record exam. All right. So that one is okay, let me start with the IELTS and the TOEFL. Those are basically about your English proficiency. Let me put it that way. So they are just all about English, your speaking, your listening, your writing. Those are what those courses, those exams are. Then the GRE is such that it's kind of encompassing. It includes the quantitative part, it includes the verbal part. So it cannot be substituted for any of those two, but TOEFL and IELTS can be substituted. So because those are English proficiency exams. The GRE is just a standalone exam on itself.
Okay. So I think the way we'll go through this question is we'll take one person who wants to ask questions verbally, then we'll take two questions from the chat. So we'll just alternate them. So now I'll be calling on Galaxy. This is Galaxy 821. I don't know the person's name, but that's the name shown. So please go ahead and ask your question. Who uses Galaxy 821?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, good evening, all.
Good evening.
Please, thank you so much, Justin. Well, I want to know, though I joined late, so I don't know. I want to know, do you have any other day you can conduct this program, or how can I get your number so I can contact you and get some information? I just joined late. Thank you.
Yeah, I think they recorded this. I'm not sure. I think the organizers should know more. If they recorded, you can easily get a recorded. Then yeah.
Yeah, it's recorded, sir.
Okay. So yeah, you can easily get it. I'll put my email address on the chat if you want to send me an email and get more information. Right? So maybe I don't know if you will also want to do that so that if there is any information you want
Okay,
to.
I think you should send the email to Braben so that
Oh,
you can
good.
answer
So that you can. Good. I will do that.
WhatsApp group.
I will do that. Thank you.
Yes, because after now we will not have access to it. So I'll
Okay.
go to the next question. Okay, someone is asking same Eva, yes. At what stage of the admission process is GRE required?
Okay. At what stage is GRA required?
Yeah, so the admission process.
Okay, fine. It is in fact that is one of the first things you should do when you after getting your international passport, because you need it to apply. After getting your international passport, of course, you can be doing so many things simultaneously. You are looking out for schools and you are preparing for your GRE, because those standardized exams, they will not process, especially schools that didn't waive your GRE. They can't process your admission package if they don't have those scores sent to them from the testing office. All right. So it is one of the first thing to do immediately after you get your international passport. You start reading, preparing for it, and registering. So when you start doing your application, you have to indicate that you have written GRE or that your GRE is going to be sent by the body that conducts that. So it's as early as possible. That, in fact, to me, that is one of the earliest thing to do as you are gathering all that document, your transcript and your CV. Be prepared for a GRE, write your GRE and know your score before you shoot your shot.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So the next question is, can we know some states in the US that are more open to international students?
Well, I wouldn't say that question is too a little bit generic because
very generic.
Yeah, because well, if you are too white phobia, or you have phobia for white, you can start talking about states like Texas. They have a lot of blacks there, and Boston, that's the capital of Massachusetts. But then I wouldn't tell you that this state is more open to black or white or not. But I'm just telling you areas that blacks may be we have many blacks.
Yes, more representation.
Yeah, so that's it.
Okay, so we'll go to the verbal questions. Ibuka's hand is up. So Ibuka, please go ahead. Ask question.
Good evening, all. Okay, so a very quick one. Not like a question though, but I want to know, how do we get the recorded video so that we can give out or share out to some of us that are not here? Thank you.
It will be sent to the DLCF Alumni group chat. And for those who are not in that group chat, you can ask those who shared the meeting link with you to as well share the recorded section to you.
Thank you.
Are you clear? Okay. So I'll be going to the next question. Please, when we're asking questions, we should try to be specific so that the guest speaker can be able to directly answer your question. So there's another question here now, the funding aspect. I didn't really get it. Is it after you've crossed over that you'll be given the funding or before you leave Nigeria?
Is it after you cross over that you'll be given to the funding before you leave Nigeria? Is that the question?
Yes. That's what the question is.
Is it after you cross over? Okay, now the thing is this: they will, your admission, we have those packages. You have the admission letter, funding letter. So you would have known the funding that you got from this whole thing before you even, because those are some of the documents you have to go with you to the embassy. Remember, you have the embassy to go to. So you must have known your funding, what they gave you as funding and every other thing before you leave your country. In fact, that is just, it's as simple as that. All right.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, information reaching me now is that the section is live on YouTube. So you just go to the chat box and get the link to the YouTube channel. So you can actually watch the parts you missed out. For those who are asking about how to get the link to the recorded section. Okay, so let me see if there's any other question. Do we have any other question? Okay, Ezekiel, his hands are up. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, thank you for another opportunity. So while other questions were coming up, I think some other dropped in. So you just mentioned something about embassy. I think you've also spoken about issues. I know that I've heard of how tough visa process is for US. I don't know if you can try an insight in so that our fears will be alleviated. So on that, I also have the other concept, not like a question, but I don't know, can we have access to your statement of purpose or a generic one like is close to yours, at least just to give us an ease for writing something like ours in preparation for admission? Then to wrap it up, the last question was around the research. I want to know how intensive research is in US. Well, I've always like considered, you mentioned it now. So when you finish school, you're like, I don't think I have the brain again to go back to school and start doing plenty reading and all that. So that's how intensive is research like for okay, masters as PhD, as you rightly said too. Thank you.
All right. So I'm gonna start with the visa. Sorry I didn't put that in my slide, but I think it's a very important question. Like what we all know, like even when we're growing up, I can't even imagine you personally go and do US visa processing yourself. I always believe somebody must do it for you. You must contract an agent or something. But I want to tell you, and also I think Jerry also is also a living witness. From point A to Z, I did everything myself. I never contracted any agent. It's as simple as that. Now the thing is, especially for students, the students F1 visa is as simple as that. If you as long as you are finished with the school, they've given you all their the offer and all the funding, they will send you the official admission letter. That's called the F1 I-20. Sorry. the I-20, which has details of whatever the school, is giving you. That is the document mostly you need with your passport and one or two documents you are going to, process along the line. And you just go there, you select, you go for, you apply for visa, you apply for visa, normally from through the bank. I think GTB does it very well. Then after applying, then you go online, continue the application process. Then at the end of the day, you select a date for interview. All right. So it's as simple. I know it's a lot, but you shouldn't get so much overwhelmed about the US embassy stuff. I know people have really seen a lot in there, but that's mostly people that probably they're going for business or some other things. But student visa is not as complicated and difficult as it is, especially if you have funding. All right, it's something that is very easy. I went there in couple of about less than 2 minutes. The question was over, and I left. All right, and also of course we cannot rule out the God factor out from it. So I don't know. I know Jerry will want to say one or two things about that. Then for the area of my SOP, of course, I can share those. I mean, it's not like one secret thing. I can share those if it's going to help someone to put things together. Because SOP, I must tell you to be sincere, it's very difficult to write. Sometimes you don't even know where to start from. It's very difficult to write. So I can share some. I can share mine. Also, you can also go online. Just Google SOP, sample of SOP. Maybe even you can even be more specific in engineering, a graduate school in engineering. You see a lot of samples online. You read what they have, see how make sense of what they're saying, then crown your own. All right. So the last one, the research. Research is really robust here. I want to tell you the truth. And yeah, I know the pressure will be there. You may be feeling, will you still cope? But the truth is that the system is structured in a way that they have mechanisms put in place to help you, navigate freely here. The library is functional. There is 247 light, 247 internet, a lot of facilities that will help you, get started and get key into this thing. It's just a matter of your will. It's individual based now. So Jerry, I don't know if you have one or two things to contribute on this.
Okay, thank you so much again once more. About the visa of a thing, I think I have some experience about that. Especially, I worked with Education USA Lagos and Education Abuja. So I attended quite a number of orientations about this application. And even from their website, the US website, they will tell you that please beware of scammers, people that will try to tell you apply through us and all of that. In fact, if they find out that someone helped you to apply and let's say it's a backdoor thing, you'll be turned back. So be very careful about that. So it's something you can do from your own end and you pay for it. I applied myself. I didn't contact any organization, so something you can do. Then, secondly, I think at this point, you shouldn't be worrying yourself about visa. Visa is just, in fact, the way application is structured, there are 5 steps. There are 5 steps to this thing. So all these 5 steps will take about 1 year, and the visa is the last step. You get that? The first step of searching for schools, then preparation, then getting admission, 4th step funding, then 5th step is that of visa. So that is even the last step. So you need to take out this time to get all these things, the things you need. Then for that step, you take care of yourself. Then I also want to talk a little bit about what Bro Justin said last. That is concerning the funding, when and how. There is no one way of getting funding in the US. Just have it in mind. Yes, there is no one way. Some schools will give you admission and fund at the same time. Some others will give you admission, then after some time they give you funding if you qualify for it. So basically, it's quite different. Like from my own experience, I applied to about 7 schools or so last year. Some of the schools I applied to, some gave me admission, but no funding. You get that? So you have to have some information. Know the schools that will give you automatic funding. Know the ones that will give you admission and require that you apply for funding separately. So you need to have the information at hand. So some schools, one of the schools placed me on a waiting list for funding. So you need to know. So get the information. What is applicable to school A may not be applicable to school B. So schools in the US are very much dynamic in the sense of how their administration is. So you need to get information yourself. So, and it will not be what Justin is giving to us is just general information. Yes, it's just a general information. So you need to make some research yourself and get the information you need. So nobody will give you the 100% information you need. So you get to this school, go to their website, email the professors, email the departments to get the information peculiar to them. So I think this will help someone. So try to know the schools you're applying to, the kind of funding they give, whether the funding is automatic. For my own school now, it's automatic. Once they admit you, they fund you. And for some others, it's not like that. Thank you.
Yeah, so sorry, just to clarify, exactly, Jerry, you're right. That's why I mentioned in the slide, they need to contact the graduate coordinator or something, and you ask some specific question. Please be specific. I know sometimes we feel like, shit, they will not say I'm after money. No, be specific that, do you guys give funding in this program? What are my chances of getting funded? They will tell you everything if they have the information. It's as easy as that. Thank you.
Okay. Terminal here. I think
Good evening, everybody.
Yeah, good evening.
So my question is based on our applications. So when we are narrowing our applications to the courses we are applying for, because most of us, sometimes we want to apply for a certain course in a particular school, but what we are seeing, we can only look at the courses that are close to what we want, maybe not exactly what we want. What should be our choice? Should we also look at the institution per se, or we should just look at, okay, maybe because this is the funding system for this school and there's a course close to what we're looking for, let's just take that institution, or we should go about looking for the particular course we want to study?
Well, that's a very interesting question. Yeah, there are two ways to this. Now, first and foremost, understand that some of the names of what we give our courses in Nigeria is not the same they give here in the US. You might just
Exactly.
I can't remember anyone on top of my head now, but you might just jump in with the mind of your course and you start searching in the school. You can't say, what's going on? Nobody is doing my course. It might not be the same, all right? Like, I don't want to say any course that I'm not sure, but I know what I'm saying in essence that you need to, if you search through the school and you find out that you can't see any department that looks like with the name of what you study, maybe for instance, biochemistry. I'm not saying biochemistry is different from, I'm just giving an example. Maybe you can't see biochemistry. Then you now begin to go to, of course, you know that biochemistry must be in science. You go to maybe School of Science or something of science, go there and begin to look at those courses. Sometimes they give those courses different names here, all right? Different names here. So, and again, you can look at the individual course, look at the course content. It is in the course content that you now know, okay, this is chem, this is bio, this is I did. It is in the course content, you now see the introductory to chemistry or introductory to this and that. So you now see a relatable course. So from there, you know that, okay, this department is actually what I am supposed to be in, although it doesn't have the name biochemistry. So that's one thing you should pay attention to. Then another thing, you should be a little bit flexible. Yeah. Well, yeah, there's always this saying, go for your passion, make sure you are driven by your passion. Yeah, well, it's good to be driven by your passion. But the truth is that even with your passion, if you discover that you can't find anything specifically on what you want to do in a particular school you like, you can easily look for something related. You see, here is very fluid. When you come here, the education system here is very fluid. I'm telling you, I have a student right now who is in high school. High school is secondary school, but he's taking year one course here. He's taking economics, he's taking first year economics. Yeah. He finished the course, he go back to high school. So you can just wake up and go to school and pick up, apply to take one course. It's as simple as that. There's no restriction. So it's very fluid. You can easily cross to a different discipline, and they really appreciate that diversity. But all the same, don't cross too far that you don't even understand where you're crossing to. I don't have an idea of what's happening. If you want to cross to something you can relate to. Like somebody can do like my brother. I have a brother who did what's his name now? Quantity survey. And this guy discovered that he likes playing with computers. So now he's going for computer science or that data analysis, data analytics. So some of those things, they are there. You can easily cross departments, but make sure you don't cross too far. That when you get here, you get frustrated. And yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. I have another question. I've heard from some of my friends who are probably in the UK that tell me about programs where you can work maybe for some certain hours during the week and school. And I don't know how it works in the US. So I just also have the idea. I want to ask if they still have programs that allows you to work for certain hours weekly or hourly, or how does it work?
Yeah, like what I said initially, when you are being admitted and you are being funded as teaching assistant, TA, graduate assistant or research assistant, these things are work itself. So you are working in the department. So as an international student, you by law you are supposed to work 20 hours per week during school days. Then during holidays, you have the liberty to work up to 40 hours per week. So your funding, the kind of funding you receive, will determine if you are exhausting that 20 hours in the week in the department. All right. If you are giving 100% funding, all right, that means the 20 hours they require you to work in the department. But if you are giving 50%, that means that's just 10 hours. All right. Like my program, they do give every year one student, every first year PhD student, they give us 10 hours workload, because they know that the program is very intense. With the coursework is very intense. So that you can only work for 10 hours and use the other hours to concentrate on your work. So with that, I also have the option. Even when I was doing that, I had the option to work 10 hours, depending on my choice. And I remember I did some extra work, 10 hours, I proctored exams, and I think you will see jobs around the school, but make sure that you have that liberty to work extra hours. If your funding and your admission does not cover 20 hours, which you are expected to work in a week, then the remaining hours you can easily use it to look for work around. But make sure you don't exceed that time, because they track everything here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, I wanted to add something to what the question he asked earlier concerning how to talking about course content and all. You could as well use the professor's research area of interest, the faculty members. You could use that to know what department you should apply to. So you could have done microbiology in your undergrad, and you will, how will I say it now? You will see faculty members that are in biological sciences. You could see them biological sciences, some environmental sciences, that are doing stuffs that you want to do. So it doesn't necessarily mean because you did about microbiology, you will just be focused and fixed on microbiology. And sometimes the course content on the environmental sciences may not really look like what you are familiar with. But if you can get a professor that is doing a research in something you have done or something close to what you want to do, and you're able to convince that person to easily switch and do
Thank you for that,
environmental.
Comfort. That was very interesting. Is a very insightful one. Thank you.
Okay, so and me, I want to ask my own question now. Okay, from my own research, I got to know that you have PhD students have more fundings than MSc programs. Like you see more fundings for PhD programs than MSc programs. And I got to understand that you can move directly from BSc to PhD without the traditional BSc to MSc, then PhD, you could move directly. So I want to know, for you to increase your chances of getting an MSc funding, which is not always the case in the US, like just few schools that do full funding for MSc, and most times they attach it to you securing a supervisor. So what do you do? Like, what other measures do you take? What extra mile do you go to be considered for full funding for MSc positions or MSc programs?
Okay, I want to believe I got everything because your voice was fading. Okay, so I will speak and I also allow Jerry to speak more because Jerry, I think your program is currently MSc, right? You Jerry, you are muted. I can't hear you.
Yeah.
You are muted again. You are muted.
Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Okay.
can you?
Okay. The the point is this. Like I say, I'll also put this again. Anything I'm telling you is not a rule. So take it that this is relative to my situation. You get that? So for my school, in my department, they don't give international students MSc. If they're admitting you as a PhD candidate. So when because my application was pre-screened at not from the University of Oklahoma where I'm studying now. It was pre-screened in the American Mathematical Society website. So when they saw my application, they told me to apply to the department, and if I have not done my MSc, I should apply for Master of Arts in Mathematics. So after which I will transfer to a PhD program proper after my MSc. So that is where you hear that some schools they tell you that you don't need to have a BSc to apply. Yes, that's what some schools do. So when you come over here, they give you funding as a PhD candidate most times. Then you do your masters. Once you're done with your masters, you get to the PhD program. That's how it's done. Then some schools also they give you a master's program. Yeah, it's also possible. I've met some Nigerians here and they are doing their masters. So I thought it was not possible that once you are applying, you must apply for PhD. No, it's not true. You can also get some schools that can accept you as a master student. You have them around. It's possible. So anything you are hearing from us, it's relative. So you have to search out for the information yourself. So I'm talking about. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really on point. So then to add to that, like he's emphasizing on being relative. That's very important. Is that just key? Yeah, I came straight for PhD. Of course, I have my master. So, like you said, some schools take bachelor to PhD direct. In fact, two of my colleagues that they just only have bachelors. Yeah, and even in Nigeria, some Nigerian guys move from bachelors to PhD straight. Now, of course, you were asking, well, how do you increase your chances? You have to, for masters, most times, and you rightly said that sometimes, or many a times, the funding is mostly tilted towards the PhD program because they believe that that program is such that you cannot really, it's a research, like a work, you can't. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it's more funding. Is in fact the level of certainty in PhD application of getting funding when you're admitted is about 98%, to be sincere, unlike as against master. But like he said, some schools still give masters funding. Even my school, courses like business analytics. I know of some persons that started this fall. They were on full fund. They were fully funded too. So some schools still give masters program funding. But you need to make sure that you have some package. You have your a very strong package. And if you want to move from bachelor to PhD, it's also possible. But it's what you have. Your package should be strong. When I mean package now, of course you should make sure maybe you have a very high GPA. You have you have some experience, and you can write some things that you have done, and if you have publications, that's also another added advantage. So these are some things. As he has been pointing, there's no one way to this, and some of these things are kind of school specific. So you have to make your research. If you have identified the school, like I said, don't shy away from asking questions, specific questions from the graduate coordinators and or any contact person you have in the school. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So I think we've exhausted all the questions.
Sorry, may I have just one more question, sir?
Okay, go ahead.
So sometimes when you're making applications, you're required to show from certain points that you'll be able to live or survive with the systems of the US, or you can take care of yourself with certain funds. I don't know how that works for certain institutions, but does it apply to every area or every institution? What I'm asking is, some people ask you if you'll be able to take care of yourself, or you should provide a means of evidence that you'll be able to live in the
Proof of
US.
funds.
Yes, proof of fund. So I don't know, how does that work? That's what I'm trying to ask.
Yeah, okay. So there are different ways to that. Now, the system will always want to ask you, or the school will always want to ask you to show some proof of fund that will sponsor, that you use to support yourself, because they believe that the funding they are giving you or they'll be giving you may not be enough. That's their belief. But of course, you and I know that those fundings are even more than enough, as long as you keep to your game here and you are not extravagant. So, but they believe, based on that, because they will do calculation, they will tell you, they will do the estimate for personal expenses for 1 year or one academic year. They will do the estimate, and they bring out a figure. Maybe, let's say, depending on your state, maybe it's about $30,000 per academic year. But the funding they give you is about $20,000 for the year. All right. So they want you to show additional $10,000 in account. Now the thing is this: that is not a problem. You can easily show that. You don't need to have that much. Just show that. But of course, you and I know that with $20,000 in a month, I mean, in a year here, in an academic year here, you'll be fine. I mean, you'll be fine as an international student. So, but because of their own system, they don't want somebody to be, they assume that if you don't have up to that 30,000, which from their estimate is required for your expenditure in a year, they assume that you may not be able to cope. But that's just the assumption, because they do so much with data. But you and I understand that in reality, 30,000, 20,000 is even more than enough for international. So you even take care of yourself and also save there. So that's not a problem. If you get a funding that has some deficit, that's what it's called, some deficit, and you need to get show an account, a funded account to augment that. That's not a problem. You get an account, any person, relative or whatever, the person knows that you are not to spend the money, just the money to be there to show. So with that, they will now equate it with what they are giving you, and which will make up the expenditure estimate for the year for individual in that state. So that's how it works. But some states, so in fact, I've seen some cases where the funding they give you even overshoot the estimated expenditure for 1 year. So that's when you say you have excess funding. It happens. Maybe the estimated expenditure for 1 year, maybe like state like Mississippi, that is not maybe it should be about 25,000, but the school, they provided you funding of about 32,000. So in that case, they won't ask you to do any supporting document or financial supporting document. But when there is a gap, you may need to provide a supporting document. But mind you, you are just showing that financial account. You don't need the money because the money they are giving you will be more than enough for you. So I don't know. Jerry, do you want to say something on that?
As for funding, there are various kinds of funding. Some people have part funding, some people have funding. So if you hear about funding, so you need to be, that's why I always tell people, get to know the funding I'm giving you. Yeah.
Very important.
So get to know the package you are getting. It will help you to decide which school to go to and the one not to go to and the one you know you can't. Because some will tell you are just giving you 50% funding. That is in the sense that if your school fees, let's say $20,000, they say you are just giving you $10,000. Go and provide the rest. So and you can don't even bother applying if you know you don't have the financial capacity. So these are the information you need to get before you start making applications. Then, secondly, when you hear that somebody needs a bank account or bank statement to maybe show the visa officer, you just understand that that person has a part funding. It's not full funding.
Yeah.
You get that? But you can be lucky to get a full funding. So don't allow it to be a trouble to you. It's not everybody that presents a bank statement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like for instance, my program, I remember my program was estimated to be about $64,000, but my whole funding, my entire funding amounted to 62. So I had to show, sorry, please, I want to plug my system. I had to show additional $1,000. And of course, 62,000 with the stipend I'm getting is more than enough, but you have to show it so that it will equate on your admission at the I-20. It must equate with what the school, what they have estimated. The amount, the funding you get and what they estimate, they must be equal, or the school should even be more than, and not the funding from the school should be more than, and not less than what the estimation is, for especially for in your visa interview.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, so we've actually spent over 2 hours.
Wow.
What's the time?
Sorry about that.
Got
I
so
know it's
much
very late
value.
there.
We got so much value, so thank you very much. I think we'll drop a summary of everything we learned in the WhatsApp group. But as the most important thing we all should get is that Google is our best friend. They can't possibly give us everything, even in 10 hours, 24 hours, they can't even possibly say everything from A to Z. So Google is our best friend. And as well, if you are very active on Twitter, there are a lot of academic scholars on Twitter who are giving out this information. I know of Dr. Muyiwa,
Exactly.
Oluwaseun Ajayi, a lot of persons on Twitter. You could read up their pinned tweets and get enough content to supplement what is given to you here. Because honestly, you think you've gotten a lot. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So you
You're
need
right.
to do a lot of extra work. So I want to say thank you very much, Sir Justin and Sir Jerry, for uh, giving out a little of your time. Please motivate us and show us the way. We hope that by this time next year, a lot of us will join you back there. That's our prayer.
Amen, amen. I say big amen to that. That's my desire, my prayer too. Yeah. So on my last word from me, I really want to appreciate the organizers, Ben and his crew, Comfort. You're doing a good job. I really want to say thank you for giving us this platform to to interact and to see our faces again and hear voices that we've not heard over years. It's really a good one. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Closing prayer.
And Baba Prince, I greet you. You can't deal with like say, I greet you, sir. How far I the dinner? Thank you. I'm really happy you are able to make it. Thanks so much.
Yeah, no issues.
Yeah.
So much talk you dished out.
Thank you. All right, guys. Are we calling it a day?
Yes, Brother Ezekiel, please stand up.
Okay.
Yeah, just give us a short prayer. Is Brother Ezekiel there? He has gone off.
I think he has gone.
Okay, Brother Nosa. Okay. Sir Prince.
Thank God for.
Okay,
Hello.
Nosa, please stand up for us.
Heavenly Father, I want to bless your name. Thank you for such a time like this. Thank you for the exposure. Thank you for the wealth of knowledge that has been deposited into our lives. Lord, we are praying and asking, oh Lord, for the tutor and the strength he has used, that you're going to replenish in 100-fold in Jesus' name.
Amen.
And as many of us that have listened will not just be hearers only, but will do appropriately as required in Jesus' name. And the fruits of yielding to these requirements or yielding to these processes, we will start reaping the fruits in no distant time in Jesus' name.
Amen.
As we sleep now, Lord, pray you reveal yourself to us. Thank you, Father, for answering our prayers. For in Jesus' name, I pray.
Amen. Yeah, thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Hello, can you all hear me? Okay, so thank you so much for today. We'll be getting across to you on our next program once we finalize with our speaker for the next event. So we'll get across to you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your coming out. Thank you. Good night.
Thanks so much, sir. Good night. Thanks so much.